the first ever Web3 PH Summit happening here at Draper Startup House. I hope all of you are ready to learn from the experts who successfully launched their own NFT projects. This event will be a panel session where project founders will discuss how to launch new Web3 projects. Without Again, we would like to thank everyone for joining us in today's event despite the weather. Thank you all to our speakers also who are here joining us today. Again, reintroducing our moderator for today is Jaime Zulueta, the head of content at Diamond NFT Super Community, the premier Southeast Asia NFT community, where he provides in-depth analysis of any NFT projects and events. A round of applause, please, for Mr. Jaime Zulueta. Joining him today are four other notable project founders in the industry. First on our list is Jockey Jello, co-founder at Board Punks of Society NFT, the leading Filipino NFT movement, paving way for crypto NFT adoption, bringing awareness to their grand vision on educating and onboarding people and bridging the gap to financial literacy in the Philippines. A round of applause, please. Next up is ERC721B, our blockchain whisperer, the co-founder of Cash Cows, sharing you good fortune. Cash Cows is a member-driven collective exploring value-backed digital assets and NFT economics on-chain. A round of applause, please. Next on the list is Andalou, co-founder at Evereye. Evereye is a brand of heroes. Their mission is to build a long-lasting metaverse brand built for the people with the people. Evereye holders will be granted exclusive access to drops, experiences, and much more. Again, a round of applause, please. Next on the deck is Jello Wong, CEO at Likha, a project under Bayani Chain. Likha is a non-fungible token platform and a marketplace that provides users, artists, and brands the ability to mint, market, and manage the sale of their digitalized or digital assets. Again, a round of applause for Jello Wong. And last but not the least is Meg Amat, the head of NFT curation at PDAX. PDAX is a BSP licensed cryptocurrency exchange that is based in the Philippines, and they enable traders to buy and sell digital assets directly with PHP. Again, a round of applause for our panelists for today.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone, wherever you are in the world. So thank you for coming today to our talk. Today we'll be talking about how to launch your own NFT project. And I think it's a very good continuation from last night's meet and greet, where a lot of people were able to mint their first NFT project for the very first time. So for today, I think I'll direct our first question, ladies first, right? And Meg, I know you're from PDAX, and PDAX experienced exponential growth in 2020, 2021. So my question for you, Meg, is why do you think it was easy for Filipinos to accept the concept of crypto?
I think the way that that we entered crypto, at least for the Philippines, it got really close to our stomachs. People were able to experience what it is to earn from a crypto project. They didn't even know it was an NFT. So we came up with different systems for people to onboard through rentals, through all of the guilds. So that we abstracted so much of the tech, so people just jumped in, and since they were able to get instant gratification, instant benefits from it, it's something that you can easily adopt. So whenever you're trying to change culture, it's basically four things, right? Make it easy, make it fun, make it, I forgot the other two. But you need to do those things if you wanted to change something, change the system. And that's what crypto, through NFT gaming, that was what we were able to do.
And I think that most Filipinos that benefited from this, they didn't even know it was on the blockchain, it was on crypto, right?
Not at all. All they do, they would play a game and then get some money after.
All right, all right. So that's very interesting. And I know that PDAX has been very into crypto, but we are on an NFT project panel, right? So my next question is, what are the challenges for onboarding Filipinos onto crypto? And do you think will NFTs be the hook to that?
So after the play to earn spree that we had, I guess the next big thing is metaverse. So that's my thing. If you don't exactly give value, if it's pure speculation, you're only gonna get so far. But what we're trying to do in PDAX is really bring down like or extract so many use cases using the technology. So to us, it's just a technology. What we do is really get into like how people eat, how people learn, how people commute or go to work using NFTs. It's all a bit fuzzy to us right now, but that's what the big goal is. And the thing is, people in anything, in any tech, any platform you're building, people will not remember the features, they will not remember the statistics. What they remember are the stories. So that's why NFTs are perfect, because they actually, all of that lore, that's what people remember. People will talk about it, people will tell other people about it, and it's so easy because it's all encapsulated in this thing. It just so happens it's on the blockchain. So I think that's how, did I answer the question? It's a little bit
Yeah,
tangent, but
I think it fit well.
Yeah.
And speaking of lore, I think that's a good segue into our next speaker. So Andalou, right? I know that you've headed Evereye, and NFT projects put a lot of importance on their lore. What is that for Evereye? What does that mean, and how did you execute it?
Yeah, so for us, I mean, I think you really brought up a good point, right? It's all about the stories that you remember. And for Evereye, it's all about, for us, it's watching the universe unfold and building it together, right? So, from the conception when it's just a story to when there's new characters introduced to when there's a new storyline. And as the community, for us, it's all about being a decentralized IP. So, how do we create this universe together? And not only is it a story that touches everyone's heart, but it's a story that everyone could contribute to building and together. And of course that helps project founders in many ways, right? It's a common through line that you could do marketing with. It's content that you can make, right? And for example, we just introduced like the Ark, which is like the spaceship, the home that we live on. And when we drop like the art of that, a lot of people are excited. It gets attention from the space. And also when we released like the 101, it was like the origin story of the first hero. And for everyone in the community, it gives them a sense of pride, you know what I mean? And then from outside the community, it also brings attention. So I think it's all about storytelling. And at the end of the day, for us, stories is, we're really heavily inspired by anime, right? So I grew up watching like Naruto, and for me, it's like those stories that inspire future generations and inspire people now will be the reason that they stay for the long term. And for us, it's, all about being really transparent, right? These stories don't like unfold overnight. We've always been very clear on the timelines it will take, and essentially that entertainment factor is what will keep people interested, now and also in the long term with our end goal to make the anime. So yeah.
Yeah. In terms of that, in terms of the lore and keeping people interested, I know that the market right now isn't really in a nice place. How is your project navigating through the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that's taking place in the market?
Yeah, honestly, I think any founder that's thinking about launching a project is just gonna have to learn how to be resilient and also very transparent, and to always keep communication, right? Communication when it's good, communication when there's FUD, and you can't blame the market. People are never gonna be like, yeah, the market's down. This is why everything's down. You just have to keep building, right? Keep your head down. Stay focused. I see a lot of people try to react, but then at the end of the day, the biggest thing we realize is that that distracts you from your goal. The best thing you can do is just to keep achieving and keep taking steps towards your roadmap and what you promised initially, and then to show people the progress of how you're making it there. And at the end of the day too, just I've always been a big proponent of presence. I'm always in Discord, I'm always on Twitter, talking with people directly. And if people have direct questions, they can come to me on a one-to-one. We have spaces.
Yeah.
That's the best way. Just be communicative, present, and be transparent, and stay strong. Honestly, that's the big one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're pretty much living 24/7 in Spaces and
Yeah.
in Discord.
Yep, exactly. That's the best way.
Yeah. I think communication is really key in this market, right? You need to be present, you need to be active. And, in terms of builders, I'd like to ask one of our young builders right here. So, Jockey Jello from the board Punks of
Hello.
Society.
Sorry.
I know,
Hello.
I know it's one of the first Filipino projects that ever minted out. So I'd like to ask you, Jockey, as one of the first Filipino NFT projects, do you think being first holds a lot of weight in your success?
Well, first of all is that we have in our project we focus on our vision, and our vision is to educate and onboard the masses to the world of crypto investing and metaverses and NFTs. That has been the vision of Board Punks of Society ever since like a year ago, since August, since our inception, since like when we were just 10 people in our community. And yes, actually, second is that I want to give recognition to on the other Filipino projects in the space that were here before us. And also, actually, the pressure is really there because parang lahat ng most of the community that we help establish then in the Filipino NFT space is nakatingin sa'yo. And yung pressure in building and kumbaga taas yung expectation, beyond their expectation is nandyan din. Pero syempre, I'm really happy that the team is here, the community is still here to support us, to understand us, and to believe in the vision with us. And with this pressure, actually, yun nga, we believe in the saying na diamonds are made under pressure then. And we just continue on building despite the volatile market, despite the decreasing market interest then. We just continue with our vision to educate and onboard, to innovate. Kasi babalik-balikan niyo yung vision that you have since the very start. Diyan kayo babalik at babalik ng team, ng community, and ng people around you, and the Filipino space that has been established through the years. So yeah.
Great insights, Jockey. And I wanted to ask, so you scaled your community from 10 members to how many now?
It's in Discord. It's actually 20,000 members na sa Discord.
Wow. That's amazing. I think we deserves a round of applause for that.
Thank you.
And so, you mentioned a lot about community, but how important is community and how is Board Punks of Society displaying that?
Actually, ayun yung kino-consider namin. We consider 3 pillars in building an NFT project. In building our NFT project based on our experience, we have the vision, the community, and the team behind it. Because The vision is there. The vision will lead the project. Kumbaga, ito yung babalik-balikan nyo as a team, as a community, that we have an end goal, that the project has a direction and a plan because of this vision. And the community is the one who will help the team and to make that vision a reality. That's why in this space, in this Web3 space, in this NFT space, community is an important part of building a project. Because community will help you, will both help you, get the project's traction and even help you achieve that vision that you have with the project you are building. That's why community is very important, and yun yung that's what we are doing with Board Monks of Society rin, na as much as possible listen to the community and what they are demanding then.
I think those are great insights, Jockey, and I'd like to shout out to my own community, Diamond Super Community. A lot of people that are in this space right now are from that Diamond community. So from the organizers of here to some of the guest speakers, we're all from that community. And having a community really helps you grow your vision, right? Grow your project. And maybe it's a good segue into maybe more technical aspect of the space. And I'd like to address this question to the blockchain whisperer.
Hello.
Yeah, so what are some of the most underrated uses of NFTs and smart contracts that you've seen?
Okay, that's a really hard question to answer, but we can go the opposite route. Some of the common use cases are obviously staking, breeding, and then when you stake, you get tokens, and then you use that token in some sort of store. Time and time again with a lot of collections, I've seen that done. I even implemented it like more than once on different NFT projects. Underrated, I truly believe, is fractional ownership. Fractional ownership is when multiple people own kind of like the same NFT, and then there's some sort of mechanics under that. I still think that decentralized commerce or meta commerce is definitely underrated in terms of, because if you actually create a meta commerce for your community, it actually keeps them kind of automatically engaged through my studies. I think those are the definitely major two. Breeding used to be done a lot, but now it's not as common anymore. There's other cool ones like some NFT collections are creating something called a meta fund, where it's DAO controlled, where the community can vote for, like how to spend the funds in different ways. With that said, I think the innovative side or the creative side in tech is really dependent on the tech team that's supporting your NFT project, right? If you have, I want to say beginner smart contract developers, they won't be able to see what's possible compared to the other blockchain developers that have done this, time and time again, and have the ability to customize different kind of smart contracts. Like for Cash Cows, we actually, in the last 2 months, we've launched over 12 smart contracts that does different things. We don't have the practical utilities. We didn't want to do what every other NFT was doing, but we wanted to try to see what was possible. So we had something called a community treasury.
Yeah.
This is where holders, so whenever, in my collection, every time you sell a cow on OpenSea,
Right.
looks rare X2, Y2, there is a 10% royalty that we put into the community treasury, and then every cow holder can withdraw their fair share.
All
And
right.
we've also launched something called a loot store,
Mhm.
which is like 3 contracts. There's we launched a barn where you can milk your cows. We've launched
Okay.
a farmer's market where you can sell your milk for dollars, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
Do you have a team, a tech team managing cash cows, or do you have a team of developers? How does it work?
We do have 4 developers, but I'm really the main guy who's
All right.
doing the smart contracts and the tech direction. Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're talking about tech talent right here, and you know, in the Philippines, there are a lot of skilled talent, right? But for us to grow this talent, what do Filipinos need to do in order to be more competitive in the talent space for this new industry?
All right. For me, coming from a full stack Web 2 experience, switching to, or for since I'm in Ethereum, I'm merely speaking about Solidity here. Actually, the transition is pretty easy relatively if you have that background
Yeah.
experience. But not a lot of programmers would put in the time to learn it because they
Okay.
don't see how they can earn from that. And it's also a risky proposition coming from a comfortable, stable, let's say you're a React developer, you could always find a React job,
Yeah.
to blockchain where you have to learn the game of getting new clients in Web3 and you
Yeah.
also have to put your name out there. So it's quite a risky proposition to ask developers to go from Web 2 to Web 3. But for those who actually put the time in it, and I'll tell you guys where to go. Basically, I'll give you guys a 2-hour, heads up. For those who put time in it,
Yeah. All right.
actually they're the ones who are going to thrive. Like, I don't want to brag, but I'm like 300% oversubscribed. So we need definitely more blockchain
All right.
developers. And then for those who are interested in learning Solidity, there is a YouTube video I highly recommend. It's called Mastering Solidity. It's a 2-hour video, but that 2-hour video saved me weeks of research when I started.
So I know that you're a Solidity developer, right? Did you learn this all on your own, or how did you go about it?
No, really, I spent weeks of research, and then I watched that 2-hour video, and that saved me more weeks of research than I was just off to the races.
All right.
And then there's this library called Open Zeppelin, which is like the standard. But then when I realized that you can break through the standards and invent your own different things on smart contracts, that's when my mind kind of like exploded, like almost like 5 times. I was like, wow, you can do this. Like, for example, my community treasury is based off of a payment splitter,
Yeah.
the standard payment splitter on Open Zeppelin, and I just realized that I could rewrite the whole entire thing.
All right.
Actually, it was through Azuki when they kind of rewrote the ERC 721.
the contract, yeah.
I was like, I didn't even know you could do that. Right? So I was like, I want to see if I can actually break through the standards too. So that's
Okay.
kind of like what really opened my mind into smart contracts.
All right. All right. I think let's move on to one of the other young builders in our space, right? So we have Jello here from Lika NFT. So Jello, maybe you want to introduce more about your platform and how do you see brands using NFTs?
Yeah, so, good morning, or sorry, good afternoon to everyone. Super rainy day. Yeah, so what we're doing is, over at Leka, right, we're building a hyper-localized NFT marketplace where we onboard artists, businesses, and brands. So right now we're doubling down on the B2B side. We're partnering with different retail stores, brick and mortar stores to start creating NFTs for themselves. And there's so much value that comes within that, no. So just a little bit of statistics, no. For retail businesses, right, their customer acquisition costs have gone up over by 80% in the past 5 years. With NFTs coming in, another avenue for their marketing, foot traffic, customer retention rate, there's so much value in that, right? And it just lessens that your customer acquisition cost as a company. And secondly, they say that with customer retention rate, if you increase that to at least 5%, you will be able to generate an additional 25 to 95% in sales. So if you have customer retention rate because of those NFTs and because it's what's hot right now, then that's more added business value to you.
Right.
And on the consumer end, the reason why we want to transition your typical loyalty card to to an NFT is because you have that sense of ownership. And when that company goes away, or let's say they close down, you still technically own that NFT and you have that sense of true ownership. And psychologically, as people, we have this desire to be inclusive or to be part of something, right? To be part of something great.
Right.
And if we're able to onboard the next 1 million Filipinos through this strategy, then I
Yeah.
think that's going to bring more value even to the NFT space. So it's a win-win for all industries and all sectors.
Right. In terms of use cases, right, and brands, do you have any examples or any favorite use cases that you'd like to tell us about?
I think the main one is really incentivizing people that own your NFTs. I mean, that's a typical structure for every NFT project. But if you're applying it to, like, let's say a restaurant, you can get these different kind of perks. Like every Friday, you get a free drink, happy hour, or you get buy one take one as long as you own the NFT. You get to join exclusive events created by these restaurants. So we're partnering with different people, and they all have different creative stuff. I think one of my most favorite one is a membership lounge.
All right.
So it's something where it's currently public, but they'll close it down. They'll make it private now.
Okay.
And then the only way you can get in is really the NFT membership, and from there you get to network with high level people like celebrities,
All right.
different entrepreneurs, and different individuals across different industries. So then your network gets, you get introduced to a brand new network through that community.
Is this Keeper's Bar, by the way?
No.
Different
But
one.
Keepers is one of those companies that I'm a big fan of, right? We're actually helping them also try to build some of that tech also as
Okay.
well. So.
So I know we talked a lot about rewards and loyalty, right? Why do you think that rewards are just better in the blockchain?
Yeah, so, just a little more statistics, right? So, sa loyalty program market here in the Philippines, it's currently valued at $630 million, and it's projected to double to 1.2 within the next 4 years. So I think being able to take advantage of that is, I think it's a big opportunity, right? And the most frustrating thing right now is generally people who have the loyalty program, it only works for conglomerates, people that already have big restaurants. But how about the SMEs, diba? When they
Right.
launch their own rewards program, are they really able to bring in more users or more customers to start using that loyalty program? No, I don't think so, because even me personally, it's nakakatamad minsan, right?
Yeah.
But with NFTs, right, brand new tech, something that people are already familiar with through Axie Infinity, through these different NFT projects, Board Punks, Cash Cows, Evereye, and with cryptocurrency emerging in these markets, diba? Then people will start to get curious and they
Okay.
start to avail of these rewards. So technically, we're not, changing anything, but rather we're upgrading their technology into
Yeah.
something better. And again, it's also that sense of security, that trust within between the company and the consumer. With NFTs, I believe you're able to build a good relationship with them.
Okay. Great insights there, Jello.
Yeah.
And I think we've got 15 minutes left on our panel. We'd like to ask the audience if they have any questions for our speakers.
Hi, good afternoon, guys. I have a question about launching NFT projects. So, what are your advice be on starting an NFT project and how to launch it in such a way that it will generate interest and make it unique as compared to other existing projects? Thank you.
Yeah, I think I can start, no? Well, my answer is pretty short. No, product first. You know, if you're able to build a product before even launching an NFT project, I think, you know, as soon as it mints out or as soon as you sell out that NFT project, you know, at least you're giving them a value immediately, right? But if you can't do that, I think having a solidified roadmap and something realistic uh, is something that, you know, that's super valuable, especially to an NFT holder. If they see that you have proper direction and you're completely transparent about your plans, pursuing this NFT project, then, you know, they'll definitely continue to trust you, and you'll get that trust of continued support, and then from there you're able to onboard their friends of friends. You know, it just keeps going down the road. But I think everyone else here
Yeah.
can, you know, add.
No, I agree totally what you said. I think, focus on the product is first. And for us, it was really, our product was mainly art at first, right? And I think, more so after you have your product, you're able to define like, who is your target audience? Like for us, when we minted, it was during like anime meta, right? And, like he, Carlos, like we were both really big Azuki holders. So like we knew that like, okay, we have this Gundam Evangelion inspired art. There's anime meta right now. We have connections to communities like Azuki. Like, let's start there, right? And because that's really how you break through the noise of the market. It's exactly what you said, right? It's like, if your product speaks for itself, you know who you're talking to, then all of a sudden people start talking about it because it's relevant to them. And then from there, really, it's thinking about that story you're telling, right? And that story could be, vision is a big part of it. Realistic roadmap is a big part of it. But also, why you're in the space. For me, that was a big reason. Like your personal story as a founder, why you're here compared to doing anything else in the world. And then for me, it was always, I had a big like content background from like YouTube and streaming world in LA. And that's when I realized it's the power of content as well. So, kind of like, you have your sneak peeks before you reveal, right? You have a trailer for, a product, or, really think about that content that you're gonna be is pushing to the market and be consistent with it. And number one thing that I'll always say is, nothing is more important than presence. Your presence both as a project, like at the beginning, I was like on the main account of Evereye, tweeting from the main account, replying to everything, liking on everything, and also my personal account. So because once you have the hype, it's really important to keep that momentum and then to show people that you're there. And then, from that standpoint, that's the base advice I would give to marketing is really know who you're talking to and then be present and then have a good strength of content that makes you unique. Whether it could be art, right? It could be product, could be a tech. It doesn't matter. Just think about what makes you unique compared to everything else out there, and then speak to the people that will use your product. And also work with your community, build with your community, and empower them to help you too. It's a lot of work to take on as an individual, but the beauty about NFT projects, I think we talked about communities a lot before, is that everyone in the community also wants you to succeed. So, you as a founder should find ways to help empower them, whether it's the community helps lead spaces, whether you bring on moderators to help, do events, right? And, so just don't think that you're alone in that. And then once you have, what I always say is like, find your first 100 super fans, and then once you have your super fans, empower them to help you build to your next 10,000, 20,000 people. And then all of a sudden, the job becomes a lot more organic. And to me, or being organic and being authentic is the best way to stand out, because a lot of people will just try to copy paste what other projects do. And then that's the way you become like a derivative project, not a project in its own limelight, So there's a lot of good practices in the space, but remember how to be authentic to yourself and authentic to your community is the best advice I would give.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to that. We have the saying that in Web 2, it's product market fit. Web 3, it's almost like community vision fit. So really focus on your community, who you're trying to reach. And then I guess since we're talking about Web 2 and Web 3, what we noticed is it's not just the technology that's going decentralized, it's even how we communicate. So Web 2, it's top down. Web 3, it's really grassroots. So we're not saying that you leave behind Web 2 like it's such a bad thing, but you know what tools to use for the right time. So mix up your bag of tricks, use it, listen to your users, who the first 100, 1,000 super fans are, and then take it from there.
All right. So I know we talked a lot about community, super fans, and users. To our audience right now, we have time for one last question. Do you have anyone from the audience who'd like to ask anything?
Yeah, I guess my question is, I mean, for founders, right? For the first time they're running a project, it might be not their successful one. They might need to do a few more before they get that successful project, right? What would be your tip to them? I mean, what got you to where you are now? Was it really passion, or was it something else? Was it your team, or was it the belief in the product? What would get them to get their first successful project?
Okay, what I've always been telling builders, aspiring founders, is to solidify their vision, solidify their why. Why are building that certain kind of project? Is it community focused, product focused? Is it advocacy focused? Why are you building such project in this space? Because darating dyan na, as I mentioned before, babalik at babalik kayo sa why na yan. Sa vision that you have for your project, the end goal that you have, you will always return there. Because yun nga, success is one thing, pero maintaining that success is another thing. So, how do you maintain that success? You go back to your why. You go back to your vision. You strengthen that. And all the branches there will also be strengthened, leading up to the success of your project. So, that's why, one belief is one thing. And, yun nga, with this vision, plans are there. The team will also be, kumbaga nagra-radiate din yan sa team and sa community that you have. Yun lang.
Yeah, I'm more of a direct answer person. So the issue with a lot of people who want to start creating NFT collections is they always, maybe it's not on purpose, but they silo themselves within their own, whatever they create. For me, I actually didn't start an NFT collection without joining 40 other NFT collections first. And I found that very interesting in my case, because when I got to the time where, okay, now I want to try my own NFT collection, it was only because I saw what everybody else was doing, and I was like, and I was identifying what was missing. And it is just for me personally, because I'm a tech guy. We're missing like the smart contract innovation parts of it. So that's why like my collection is really tech focused, like super tech focused. But I use those communities that I've joined. I participate. I'm like active in all these Discord communities. I used it to also co-promote and to do collaborations with those communities. Interesting enough, and I don't know if you guys have joined a lot of communities, there's always that Filipino channel. I was like, you know what? You know who dominates Discord community management? It's Filipinos. Like worldwide. I'm only basing it off of all my Discord servers. But there's always that Filipino channel. You have that Filipino moderator that always speaks Tagalog, right? I was like, you know what? There's the audience right there, because those are the people who actually buy NFTs. So I'm gonna tell you guys a 3-step growth hack. Okay. These guys will tell you about vision, so you don't have to hear it from me. Number 1 is buy as many NFTs as possible. It doesn't have to be the expensive ones. It could actually be some of the cheaper ones. And then get into those communities and be active, contribute, and then eventually try to see if you could do a collab with them, or if not, talk to the Filipino channel about your project, right? Number two is prepare compelling content for your first tweet, right? Compelling content. So whether if it's a video teaser, whether if it's image, your first tweet is going to be your judgment, right? It's your judgment day, right? You only need to do one of them. You don't have to tweet 20 of them. Just one super compelling one at the start. And your last step is to set up a pre-mint link, right? Now here's the biggest issue with pre-mint, pre-mint.xyz, guys. The creators pass costs 1 Ethereum, but in some of the groups, what we're doing is we are sharing our pre-mint pass to everybody else. If you guys don't know where to get access to get a pre-mint list, you could actually talk to me because I'm also a pre-mint. I have the pre-mint creator pass, and I've been giving it to over 20 NFT projects in the Philippines for free, or sometimes I charge, depending if I like them or not. But yeah, you guys can definitely talk to me if you guys need help with that. So that's my 3-step growth hack. And you can start observing, just if you do those 3, observe whether if it's getting a lot of following or traction, and you can adjust from there, yeah.
So thanks for everyone on the panel. I think we're at the end of the program. Right. So at this point, I think we're going to prepare for a photo, right? Photo?
Yes, please stand up. And may we call one project head, either Bianca or Chris? Yeah. Again, a round of applause, everybody, for our panelists for today. I hope you were able to pick up a thing or two in that very, very engaging session. Thank you all for taking the time to join us in this morning session. Token for granted how to launch